Welcome back, viewers, and thank you for staying tuned. Now, Mr. Nazmul Haq was actually talking about his where he started and why he took up another shop right in front of his restaurant and actually made a successful business out of that. But the point is that we've spoken before the break, which was, I think, is very important, and I need to repeat this or put it in a different word actually. He had a very difficult time knowing that somebody else, another competitor, is coming right opposite him. The property had car parking space, it has so many more benefits than his business, and he felt like a sense of threat about it. So it's something that's happening to them at that time was negative, you know, that what he's done, he looked back and he thought to himself, hold on, you know, what can I take out of this, you know, what can I do in order to stop this competitor coming in. Now, viewers, just see the way business people think here, and this is one I think a thought of or a successful businessman would do. It's just a trait of a successful businessman. What he did is he went out and looked for what other opportunities there are in this area, what sort of businesses he can do, and he came up with the idea of a grocery business, and he's done this grocery business there. So something that's negative happened, what has he done? He's pulled positive out of it. That's exactly what you did, absolutely. Didn't you? And you know, I love the idea, how you thought about it and how you did the calculations. He did the calculation, he thought to himself, even if I buy this freehold, it's going to cost me X amount per month, empty council business rate, it's going to cost me X amount. It's not going to be a bigger dent than a competitor coming in. Great idea, great thoughts. Anyway, we're going to carry on from here. We were talking about your father supporting you. He was always there to push you and help you, which is great. You know, not everybody gets that, all right? And it doesn't mean that you're alone when you don't get that.
No, absolutely.
By all means, there's mentors out there, there's family members out there who will support you mentally. I think the most important thing in life is somebody morally and mentally supporting.
Yeah, it's not just my father actually physically supported me as well. He actually helped me in the shop. There's a period where it was getting difficult for me to run the shop and the restaurant, and I didn't have enough hours in the day to do both.
Okay.
When my father stepped in, he was, because we had to do the marketing, the cash and carry, you know, all that involved in the grocery shop behind the scenes, where it's out of hours, you know, literally past midnight, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning, going to the vegetable market to pick up vegetables. My father stepped in, you know, and said, right, you know, you rest, I'll do this.
Wow.
So
another thing I really admired about you is that you actually took up another job, not for the sake of money, but the sake of knowledge, just to learn how the grocery side works, not the outside, the internal stuff. You know, so you took up a job in Tesco's, and you've dedicated your time, investment, that is your investment for the business, and then you came back with that knowledge and started your grocery shop. How long did that take, the process of learning?
I worked in Tesco, well, process of learning, I'd say it's still going on. You could never learn enough. But in Tesco's, I was there for 3 months just to kind of understand the basics. And I chose to work late hours because at that point I could actually speak to, it's not busy, there's no customers, I can actually speak to other staff members, the managers. Oh, how does this work? How does that work? How do you actually do the offers? What's, you know, I can ask them questions for the information that I need. If you're working during, for example, in a restaurant, when it's you know, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. on a Saturday evening, nobody's going to be able to answer any questions, even if they wanted to, because everybody's busy. When it's not busy, Sunday afternoon, everybody's, you know, it's quiet. You can ask the chef, how do you do this? How do you do that? You can ask the manager, how does this work? How does that work? Same concept, you know, when it's not busy, I can ask the questions and I'll get the answers. But when it's busy, you're not going to be able to do it. So it was a 3-month period, it wasn't very long. It was asking the right questions to the right people. That's where I got the knowledge from. And then going on from my suppliers, I have to say, they did have a big hand in helping me as well set it up.
Yeah, they do. It's all about asking, isn't it?
It's all about asking, absolutely.
Mm.
If you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I believe a lot of people probably wouldn't say, I'm not going to go and work for somebody. I've got my own business.
Mm.
I don't want to say, but it's that arrogance that actually keeps us behind.
Yeah.
I'm not saying people are arrogant, but we do have that pride in us.
Yeah.
It's not arrogance, it's that pride. Oh, but what will people say if they see me working, in somebody else's business? Regardless for what reasons it is, they're going to look down their nose at me. That pride we need to take away out of our life. If we want to be successful, we need to take pride out of it, because pride will not let us achieve our goals.
Yes, definitely. And that's one thing I find as well. A lot of people, when you talk to them, you can't really talk to them because they seem to know everything. Even if it's not their business, if it's a different type of business, they seem to know all the answers for it.
Absolutely.
But what we need to learn, and what is very important, is that we learn and we educate ourselves in the business we are in.
Absolutely.
And it's constant flow of information we need to learn.
Well, it's a constant flow. It's with times we need to move on. And one of our problems is we've done something today and it's done perfectly. And that's it. We think that's it. The end of. It's be all and end all. Nothing's going to change. But in 10 years' time, they don't realize that what we've done today, which was perfect, is obsolete.
Yeah.
And we don't move on, so we don't learn, we don't acquire new information and new ideas.
Yeah. Coming back to the restaurant industry, I think that's one of the things that restaurant industry is lacking, especially the smaller to medium-sized ones. They're lacking moving on with technology, moving on with the new form of marketing strategies. I think that's the biggest problem. We're not learning.
And it's... We are stuck in our comfort, everybody, and it could be any industry. People like their comfort zone. People don't want to move out of it because they feel threatened, they feel isolated, the unknown is scary. With restaurants, we sold our restaurant in 2006, so 11 years ago. 11 years ago when I sold it, I had EPOS system in my restaurant in that day. We actually had EPOS system running our restaurant. From there, 11 years on, I can see now people actually moving towards EPOS systems and electronic waiter pads and so on and so forth. And this is the Indian industry literally a decade behind.
A decade behind, exactly, yeah.
And this is one of the reasons of our downfall. We are struggling in this industry because we're not moving on with times. We still think that we need an Indian, Bengali or Indian-speaking, Asian chef to do the cooking. We need Asian staff. We don't. We need to move on from that. We need to move on with the times. We need to see what's good for my business, not what's comfortable for me.
Okay, I don't know if it's right for me to say this or not, but this is a conversation I had just before the show with somebody about the restaurant trade. There's a lot of non-Bengali restaurateurs opening up with very big restaurants, mainly from the Pakistani community now, and they're opening very big restaurants and everything, and they're taking on Bengali chefs, right? And what the Bengali chef is doing is training their people from their community, and then all of a sudden we see we've mentioned 4 restaurants, and I'm sure there's so many more. They've actually taken them on the chef. They've got the chef to teach and train their people, and our chef is back again looking for a job in an Indian restaurant, in a Bengali restaurant. Right, so we need to start thinking what we're doing. Because our industry is being taken over, and we are the leader of the Bengali curry industry. Bengalis are the leader of
curry
the
industry, absolutely.
industry, and this is slowly but surely is being taken over.
It is being taken over.
Yeah. And the fact that you sold your business, you mentioned, is that one of the reasons?
One of the reasons was the lack of staff enthusiasm. In those days, it was difficult. Oxford's a small town. It's not highly populated with Asian ethnic people. The year I sold, I had a majority of mix employees, English, Polish, French, and Bengalis, obviously, because I couldn't, especially waiting staff. In the kitchen I had Bengalis predominantly, but I had a mixture of waiting staff because it was a staff problem. The reason for selling was I had enough of trying to juggle two businesses, because restaurant trade is something, if you're doing in the restaurant industry, you're in the restaurant industry. You can't do anything else. You know, time-wise, it's just awkward hours, long hours, and it doesn't leave room for family time.
Especially when you don't have the right staff in place.
Absolutely.
It's quite difficult.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Especially if you're living in an area where there isn't enough of your people in the community to manage your business, then it's quite difficult.
It is quite difficult. And to be honest, I saw that the curry industry was actually going downhill in the sense because of staff, because of immigration issues, because of lack of the way people are portrayed to the customers. You know, the Indian restaurant is portrayed to the customer is, let's go out for a curry and a beer, it's cheap. But we're not. The cost of our food is not cheap. And my prices were, in 11 years ago, my chicken curry was £8, where people were selling it at 5,
I know.
6 at the best.
I know. I don't think they're doing their cost per dish.
Yeah, cost per dish wasn't happening. I've always made sure that my costing was correct, and actually the bottom line was in a positive figure. My accountant, I have to say, he's not Asian, he's a white man, and retired now, but very good. He always used to say to me, Nosmal, turnover's vanity, profit is sanity. And what we always say, oh, I'm doing X amount a week, I'm doing £5,000, I'm doing £10,000, I'm doing £20,000, means nothing. It's all in vain if you don't have anything at the end of it after paying everybody.
Exactly, yeah.
It's pointless you doing £20,000 a week business when in 3 months' time you're struggling to pay your VAT quota.
Yeah. Very true.
Why do it? You're not in business to struggle for your VAT quota, because that wasn't your money anyway.
Okay. Very true, very true. Thank you very much. I know you mentioned about comfort zone earlier on. You know, people want to stay in their comfort zone. And here's something, viewers, I want to say to you. You know, the likes of Les Brown, the likes of Tony Robbins, within their speeches, they're always, saying that, if you're in your comfort zone, there's something wrong. Yeah. You shouldn't be comfortable when you're in business. No. To strive for success, you need to get out of your comfort zone and succeed. That's the only way. And the other thing is, fail to succeed. Yeah, fail to succeed. That's the way forward. Anyway, viewers, we're going to go to a break again. Stay tuned and we'll see you after the break. Hello, welcome back, viewers. Thank you for staying tuned. Now we're going to go back to Mr. Haq about the grocery business. I just want to ask you a couple more questions on that business.
Sure.
Obviously, your grocery business is very popular in Oxford, and we see it all the time on TV and other forms of marketing. You're quite hands-on on that side, and obviously that's one of the reasons why you're successful, because you're quite hands-on in your business. Yeah. How long has it been you've had this business for?
16 years, actually.
Wow.
16, it'll be 16 years this March.
Okay, so you got your 16th anniversary going.
Absolutely.
Okay, 16 years, that's quite a long time for a business. That means that business has come to a situation where it has proven to be successful.
Absolutely.
Right? Because a lot of businesses, they fail in the first 12 months.
Yeah.
Or they fail within the first 5 years. Once it passes that 5 years, that means the business is actually doing quite well.
It's a viable business.
Viable business, yeah. So now 16 years, how have you managed it, and what is it you're doing different?
How I've managed it, with great difficulty. I'm hands-on. I've been in and out the business all the time. Whenever I'm needed, I'm there. Tight control on figures is key to any business. Marketing is a must. Like you said, I've been, obviously I've been there. You've seen me on TV. Advertisement. People think, oh, why would I want to advertise on TV? What's that going to bring me? It's not actually bringing you anything if you think about it. It's advertising. It's making people not to forget who they are.
Brand awareness.
It's brand awareness. It's if you forget about me, it's out of sight, out of mind. Is what comes to mind. The term. If I don't see you, I'll forget about you. But if I'm constantly seeing you, I won't forget about you. And people would argue, well, they need to eat, they need to buy groceries. They're going to come to me anyway. So, well, yeah, but they might go to your competitors. How many grocery shops do we have in London? Hundreds, if not thousands, if you count all the small ones as well. Why does anybody come from, I don't know, the South End to Brick Lane to the bigger grocery stores?
Yeah.
Because they know, they hear offers, marketing, and word of mouth is another great way of marketing. And it's all marketing. What we do special offers, we do text messaging, and it's text messaging I would advise to the viewers. Anybody who's got a business, if you've got a restaurant, takeaway, grocery shop, I don't know, even a plumber's merchant, use text messaging marketing. You can use the portal online. You can. There's loads of companies. There's a company I use, which it costs you about 2 to 3 pence per text message. Collect mobile phone numbers of your customers, send them every week, every month, how you please, a message with an offer to entice them to come in. It works. There's no doubt about it. It works. The other one which we do use is email marketing. We've got a loyalty scheme for our customers, and we've got about 300 to 350 loyalty customers. For an independent grocery store in a small town, which has probably, including students, about 150,000 population. Okay. And this is students including.
Okay, that's quite small, really.
Yeah, it's small. We have got 350 people who are actually joined in our loyalty scheme, which predominantly is non-Bengali people.
Okay.
So I've got African people, English people, I've got Lebanese, Arab, every sort you can think of. Who come to my shop, they've got a card. Because they're thinking, you know what, I'm getting points which I can use to pay for my shopping. The thing they don't realize is I'm making them come to me. And not going to the Arabic shop next door to me, or the African shop further down to me, from me. They're coming to me because they want those points, because they think once they've collected enough, can pay for it, pay for their shopping, which they can.
They're getting something for their money. And people look for value for money.
For value for money. They want something. We have a card and we get the vouchers, and our missus, they get really excited. Oh, you know what? I'm going to spend 20 quid today because I'm going to get £5 off.
And they're actually committed to now spending 20 quid.
They're already committed. They want to go and spend £20, meaning they want to go and give us £20. That's it. There's £20. So it's that mindset. With our email marketing, we send it out to the customers. They have these vouchers, and they want to come. Okay, I've got £5 off, so I'm going to go and spend. I'm going to buy a sheep. We all buy chicken and meat and vegetables and rice every day for that's our staple food. So we're going to buy it regardless. But if I'm going to get £5 off, I'm going to go to where I'm getting £5 off, not where I'm going to be paying full whack. So it's those things where overall it actually makes your customers loyal, makes them come back to you and not anybody else. Marketing is a big thing. There's no doubt about that.
Do you use any form of social marketing in terms of Facebook advertisement?
We've got a Facebook page. We don't do Facebook advertising as per se. We do it, not a huge amount. One of the reasons being is our clientele, the age group is kind of 25 plus.
Okay.
Because obviously 25 and under, mum and dad's doing the shopping.
Okay.
25 plus is the age group, because it'll be either single bachelors who have started their own family and they're
Yeah.
going to obviously do their shopping or whatever.
Your main customers are the family shoppers.
Family
Yeah,
shoppers.
Yeah.
We do get students, don't get me wrong. We've got international, because Oxford being obviously with Oxford University, international students coming in, loads of Indian, Bangladeshi, Chinese, Pakistani. We've got the whole range of students there who come in, and when they find if you, for example, and we go to a foreign country like Spain, what do we look for? Oh, let's find Indian restaurant, you know, something which we can relate to, because we want to eat our own food.
Yeah.
And same for the students. They've come to this foreign country, they see a kind of the term desi shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, they think, wow, and they actually go bananas, because they think, wow, oh, this is from back home, that's from back home, this is from back home, and they feel like they're not far from home.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes it nice for them, great for me, because I've got more customers now, and you know, it's just it's a good thing. And this is our small clientele in the Facebook marketing that we get.
Do you
is from
still
the
do
students.
the traditional form of marketing, leaflet distribution,
No.
etc.?
No.
You don't do that at all?
I don't. Waste of money. I think leaflet drops is a waste of money. Why, for a grocery shop, I can send out 1,000 or 10,000 or 20,000 leaflet drops, which will cost me X amount to print and then X amount to distribute, and half of them probably be in somebody's bin. So it's a pointless exercise. I'd rather spend that money. I'd rather give that money to my local customers who are coming in. I'd rather distribute it. One of marketing, talking about marketing, last Ramzan we gave free tickets to Umrah to a customer. It's a lucky prize draw. Do your shopping, put your name and address on the back of your receipt, stick it in the box. The winners, they're actually going 19th of this month, they're going to Umrah. It's great. You know, instead of me doing marketing drops, I'd rather do something like that, which gives my customer something tangible, and they will talk about it. They've been talking about it since last Ramzan. They're still talking about it. They're going to Umrah now. When they come back, they'll still talk about it. We went to Umrah, and
Because of
time
this
is close.
grocery
We
store,
won the
yeah.
ticket. We won the ticket. So that marketing you cannot pay for. So you need to be clever with marketing. You need to not
Think
just spend
stand
money
outside
at it.
the box.
Yeah, think outside the box. Not just throw money at it. Some marketing actually doesn't need to cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, it's true.
Like I mentioned earlier, the text marketing, that is a great campaign. Send out text messages. Okay, you need to acquire the numbers first, but I'm sure over the years of any business have acquired a lot of mobile numbers of customers.
Okay, now that's great. Actually, we've got about 3-4 minutes before we finish now. Now, Mr. Haq, you've mentioned about brand awareness, and that's a very important point you mentioned within the conversation, because a lot of our people don't understand, and not just our people, many business entrepreneurs out there, they don't actually understand how important it is to get your brand out there. You know, and there's various ways of doing it, and you've covered quite a few here. And that's my advice, viewers. You know, if you've got a business, you know, make sure your brand is your passion. So make sure you are putting that brand out there. So make sure everyone sees it. Not necessarily all of them should be bringing, all the time you're taking your brand out there is going to bring customers in, but it's actually getting into someone's mind. That's what you're doing. You know, get your brand out there, your colors, you know, everything about you out there, so that people can recall you very quickly. That's the whole idea. So when they need that product that you're providing, people can call you, recall you straight away by the color, by the brand, by the name. Now we just literally got no time, but it's been wonderful talking to you. The last question was your latest project.
Masjidsolutions.com, basically. It's we provide, it's a new concept. Digital screen, we've all seen it even in East London Mosque and Brick Lane Mosque there. You've got the timetable on there in digital screen, which is great. What we've done, we've elaborated on that, where home viewers would have the same screen at home with the messages, scrolling messages happening, live announcements. So somebody who's a taxi driver, who's not at home with the conventional radio at home, announcements made of so-and-so's passed away janazah is tomorrow at 2 p.m, for example. He's come home, worked all day, worked all night, came home at 3 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't know about the announcement. His screen is scrolling the message, so he can read the message. He knows what the announcement is. He'll know the janazah is tomorrow. He knows the timetable is there. The home screen plays the adhan for when the namaz time comes in. It gives you the jamaat times. It's great, and it's all online. It's all done from the mosque. So if you're related to, for example, Brick Lane Mosque, and they have the system, everybody from Brick Lane Mosque who goes to there, they'll have the Brick Lane Mosque timetable. They don't need to print a timetable.
It's
they
a
don't
great
need to
concept,
update
actually.
anything.
Yeah, it's a great concept.
We're actually launching an app as well, hopefully later on this year.
As well.
For people on the move like yourself. Everybody's got a smartphone.
We're covering all the mosques.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Nazmul Haq, and we really appreciate you coming on to the studio.
Thank you.
Thanks for your
Pleasure's all
time.
mine.
Now, viewers, we've come to the end of the show. It was brilliant having Mr. Haq here and getting some insight into his life and his story and his success. Now, we haven't got much time. We're going to finish now, so I just want to thank everybody at NTV and especially our coordinator Farsu Ahmed Chowdhury for bringing another wonderful guest for us. And remember, if you've got anything to say about this program, or if you've got a recommendation about a program, if you've got a recommendation on a particular entrepreneur you want to bring on to the studio, please do let us know. Our email is businesstoday@europeNTV.com. That's businesstoday@europeNTV.com. Don't forget YouTube for previous shows, and you can watch us live online at www.europeNTV.com. Thank you very much, viewers, and thanks for being with us again. And remember, tomorrow's business is business today.